like a touchdown. Yo, like I'm touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. Yeah, no, I'm stuck like I'm touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. Yo, like I'm touchdown.
I can do my dance like a touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown.
Hello. Welcome to the USS B stream. We're into week 7 now, deep into the playoffs, and we have some absolute heaters for you today. Starting in the Division 4 lower bracket with Hallam Hammers versus Southampton Seagull. I'm joined by Matters. How are you feeling, Matters?
I'm quite excited. I've had a couple weeks off from CAFing, a bit busy from uni work, but back in full force now for the penultimate week, getting towards the end of USS, so it's going to be exciting to see who can try punch their ticket to those finals and win it all.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a big game today for the teams involved. Both of these teams suffering defeats to the Warwick Antlers up in the upper bracket, so it's teams who have faced familiar foes, and the Southampton Seagull, the singular Seagull that is, they started in the lower bracket right from the get-go and have gone flawless ever since. So they're coming in with a lot of positive momentum. And as for the Hallam Hammers, they just got knocked down. So it might be a little bit of a battle between momentum versus a team who have a bit more like of victories under their belt in the upper bracket. So maybe a little bit of a higher level than their opposition. But I'm unsure how both teams are going to be feeling today. It's getting close to being doable. Getting a look into the rosters now, and the Hallam Hammers are running Finfinity, Gangster Ghana on DPS, with Otter on the tank and Azelthia and Rice Grain covering the support line, and on the other side, Obama and Ninja combining for DPS, and then Consolon's on that tank with Lillipup and Jealous as the supports for the Southampton Seagull. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to what gets brought out here today.
I mean, I definitely think this is going to be quite a good game. You can see we've been talking about this momentum versus this experience in the upper bracket. It honestly will very much depend. I think Southampton do they have enough momentum to just keep riding this lower bracket? And Hallam, maybe they're just a bit negative after going to the lower bracket. Do they have the mental to pick themselves back up and try to just continue?
Yeah, that's absolutely what I'm feeling here as well. It's certainly difficult to recover from a big loss in your first best of 5, but here in a BO3 it's a lot shorter in the time span, and Southampton have, as I said prior, been flawless in this lower bracket, not dropping a single map. But Hallam definitely have the capabilities to flip that script, and I don't know if they'll be able to wear down the Seagull, and if they'll have time to do that, because the endurance doesn't really play much of a factor here in a shorter series, where one elimination is still on the line.
Definitely, in a shorter series like this, it's only the 3 maps. You can get away with being a little gimmicky on a few maps. Try to pull out something unexpected, and once you've got that one map, you just have the advantage. No matter if they win that second map, you will have the advantage going into the tiebreaker. So as long as you get the first map under your belt, then you do have momentum for the rest of the series and a slight advantage.
Absolutely, I think that will really be the most important map of the series, considering the conversation of momentum versus a bit of a mental boom. That opening game, it will have to be, at the very least for both teams, you want it to be close, so even if you lose you feel like you can get back into this. But if it's a whitewash, I feel like it would be struggle for the other team to get back involved as we look to get towards the map selection. And here it is, it's Hallam Hammers who have picked Watchpoint Gibraltar, which is unfortunately greyed out here. It's bugged a little bit, but we know here it's Gibraltar, and it's a really fun map with a lot of dive potential, a lot of hit scan potential as well. Could see quite a variety of potential comps there.
Yeah, you're definitely leaning towards the dive, playing in your tank and your hit scans, and it is a bit sad for the flex DPS. You know, they're usually just left to push the cart, let the hit scan and tank try and take all the credit, but maybe we'll see if any team tries something different here. You know, maybe usually that Winston, that Diva, usually the 2 most priority tanks, but Wrecking Ball, if you're good at the ball, you can try and make it work on a map like Gibraltar.
Yeah, and we'll see if there's any bans here to potentially limit the picks for the dive tank, and we do actually get a dive tank banned here. The Diva has been removed by Southampton Seagull, so maybe not feeling super proficient on that hero, but feeling better on something like a Winston, or maybe, as you said, a Bull. And on the other side, it's an Ana band, so a pretty standard support to take out. Maybe one where they're wary of what the other team can bring through. Maybe one where their own supports aren't the most comfortable on a hero where she's very strong on this map with those long sight lines. But I do think with Gibraltar post destruction, post explosion event, it is a little bit. It feels a little bit closer range to me. It feels a little bit like there's more off angles to get at and more like just obstacles to go through. It's less of a clean map, so I do feel like the sight lines are a little bit more jagged.
It is just a lot harder to get on these long sides, especially on that second point with that wall being crashed on the ship. You can't really use that as an angle anymore. So it'll also maybe favour, I think, a lot less Widow, maybe more of the better closer range hit scans. Like Emre's been seeing a big turn in popularity since the start of OWCS at the start of this split, so we'll have to just see if anyone decides to lean into this, maybe hit scan revolution a little bit. But again, the Diva ban from Seagull, that's trying to disrupt the Diva, obviously very prevalent in this meta. And I do like the counter ban of the Ana. The Winston, if what you're leaning into banning the Diva with the Winston, and then the ban of the Ana disrupts the backline of the Ana Brig, which is most usually played with the Winston. But the fact that Lucio Curie is still quite prevalent in this meta, you can just usually fall back on a backline like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think Emre has the prestige of lots of these newer characters, where he's given a lot of tools to play on his own. He's not limited by verticality because he's got his gun and he can and his nade to give himself that verticality. He's got survivability with that lifesteal. He's definitely a character who can be very strong here and can play that further range and that closer range to pretty good proficiency with the combination of his abilities. So I hope you're excited to see him get in, as we do get into this map anytime now. We get this beautiful rollout screen as we do investigate Gibraltar post some destruction, and I expect to see some great destruction today from the two teams.
Yeah, Gibraltar rework, bringing in changes to the map. Will we see any changes in the pecking order of Division 4? The Southampton momentum, can they keep riding it? We'll soon find out.
I did sneak a peek of a Winston, and I believe an Emre. It's a Kiri Brig too, so it's you got some accuracies with your predictions here. Not quite the Lucio Brig, but Kiri Brig definitely can give you a lot of sustain. And there's the Emre with the Finfinity on Vendetta. Without Zarya is a much riskier pick, definitely more vulnerable, but a character once again with a lot of tools to play on her own right. On the other side for Southampton, they're also running the Emre and the Venture. Definitely a hazardous player, a hazardous character to play into. Very annoying with that Doomfist. It can be a real harassment of the backline, but there's a good survivability on the opposing backline with that Brig Kiri, so I'll be interested to see how that plays up. Alongside the Mercy Juno, some speed, some damage amp, definitely looking to aid the Emre here as Obama looks to get some early shots on. The Doomfist Consolon's not quite landing that high jump, so has to play it alongside the stairs while Ninja goes low, but does get out. His Consolon now pressuring off the high ground, gets that punch on the Brig, but forced to back away and give it up, and the Vendetta overhead strike brings him back down to the ground.
Yeah, this is the grinding strike of the Vendetta. Just both the team trying to duel it for position here. No one's really finding anything. The Hallam are firing low, and Obama with that Mercy Pocket is going to find Infinity off the start. Yeah,
but Gangster Ghana does a great job to trade it out and find the Venture, and that's the Emre's both instantly finding value as the Winston pressures the backline. Otto finds Lillipup and then backs away from the Emre with that Siphoning Blaster, gets the survival, but yeah, it does get back in time. The nade does big damage, but round the corner now with double supports, it's safety for the tank, and there's a Sombra switch here for Infinity, not feeling comfortable on that Vendetta, dies early and doesn't want to play that high risk without the Zarya bubble. Does get detected, but Obama brought down low early into this fight, forced off the angle. Ninja here claiming some space, forces the drop of Otter, who's there to protect his backline. Gangster Ghana now looking for some shots on the Juno, just forcing them away from those angles where they can play aggressive sight lines, forcing some healing out. And it's some slight progress here with 2 minutes and a half left, and there's an ult to be online for Obama, but he's brought down early. Otto with a great find, but Consolons does good job to bring out the Brig on the other side, and it's even up right now. But Finfinity there takes Lillipup and gives a support on the side of Hallam Hammers. And it's just some shots out from Gangster Ghana there, yeah.
the Hallam Hammers here, they don't necessarily need to be the ones to go first on a map like Gibraltar. They can just sit and absorb the pressure. As the defenders, you can just sit and stall time off the clock. You're more just waiting for the Southampton engage. As Gangsta Ghana getting a lot of shots on both the Doomfist and the Venture of Ninja. And ults first for the side of Southampton. They're going to have 5 pretty much. And
That's a big find. That's a big find because that's one of the ults on the other side brought down before the fight even starts, and the Breaker getting pressured out, but the Sombra hack on Emre does give a lot of vulnerability to that character, and there's Otto going to capitalize on that with the Sombra aid. The Valkyrie from the Mercy looks to get a red line but can't quite find it. There it is. Obama's brought back with the ult, and the Primal popped to aid the survivability of the spawn. He's done a great job juggling this Doomfist, who has to invest a Meteor Strike to get out and survive. Obama finds Rice Grain, and Gangsta Ghana brought down by Ninja too. And that's a big double find for Southampton Seagull, who look to be up in this fight, but there's a missed punch from the Doomfist, gives Winston survivability. There's 2 meters left on this push, and they're going to cap the first point in pretty good time. It's nice ult investment, nothing overextended here. And they still have 3 coming into this next fight.
Yeah, you'll be very happy. Only using the Valkyrie and the Meteor Strike. They just went slightly before the Hammers had both their support ults to try and just fight the engage. And getting through first point to still have 3 of your big ults on the side of Southampton, you'll be happy with that. But Hammers have a lot to get back in the game, but Rice Grain's going to get first pick.
Yeah, it's one of those great sins, investing the TP and the Suzu at the same time and then can't survive themselves despite keeping their teammates alive. And Ninja there on the Brig as well, as they have no P or no care from the Kiri. Finfinity going to be brought down by Obama too, and Southampton Seagull looking to maintain the momentum from their lower bracket run into this map, steamrolling so far. There are 4 ults on the other side, but if they can't even start the fight alive, then how do they get to use them?
I mean, it's just a little all in there from Rice Grain trying to peel, but then Consolation's able to punish. But that's a big EMP, and Otter's up there for the finish.
Okay, yeah, it's a beautiful fight this time from Hallam Hammers. They take the fight to the opposition and capitalise massively. The Sombra does really well. Consolance does good to find 2. Both supports brought down, looking to turn around the fight with the Meteor Strike as well, online. Just get hacked out by the Sombra, go and invest a Meteor Strike to survive. Gets onto the Emre, who invests the ult themselves, but if they can jump and punch it, he doesn't even need to. The shotgun takes down Gangsta Ghana, who now doesn't have his ult for the next fight, and Consolance here has done so much to turn around what seemed like a massively lost fight. The rush has been forced to be invested, and they can kite this if they want to, and they're going to do so. Finfinity now a little bit extended, and oh my goodness, what a massive punch from Consolance, combines with Obama, finds 3. Southampton Seagull are going to win this one out, and look to cap a second point, again in really nice good time.
Consolance just taking over a little bit, finds 3 on the earlier fight and forces, like, I think actually 2 ultimates. He forced the Emerald out of Gangsta Ghana and then forces the Kitsu, which they can then just kite out. He sits there actually, doesn't fully kite out, gets the Empowered Punch, and is able to use that to fly back in, punch I think 4 on the wall, and a free fight win. And building up to these ultimates again, you have that Orbital Raise, you have that Tectonic Shock, and Hammers don't have much to fight back, and Rice Grain goes down again first, but a good trade.
Yeah, and on the other side, for Hallam Hammers, they've brought the Cassidy as well, looking to really make the Doomfist's job difficult with that Sombra pick combined, but it's not really mattering as the Reds comes through. We're back to even numbers, and the HP is a little bit low for Hallam Hammers, so they're forced around this corner. No ults on their side either, just the Primal Rage to come up, and there's Otto with it, so can survive at any given moment, but dies before the pop. No, it's actually Gangsta Ghana to come out, and there's the Primal, sorry, but that's 2 found for Southampton Seagull. It doesn't really matter unless huge value can be found here, but brought down to 300. Actually does get 1 Ninja brought down, but their Valkyrie from the Mercy can fly and survive, get away, and they're forced to back the Kiri low. Good Suzu. Rice Grain looking to survive, but the Emerald from Obama with the Mercy pocket just forces them to hide around this corner. There's 1 found. Lucio, who's so good at living normally, brought instantly away. The Ray invested 2, and with just a couple minutes to go, they have to bet on this fight. There's Gangsta Ghana, good for 1, and the EMP, or I believe it was just a hack actually, aids the win for Hallam Hammers. Yeah, it was a big hack onto the backline, and they are going to look to turn this one around. The Juno is getting harassed here. They have both supports and the tank alive, but yeah, forced to back away. Otto does do good to find 1, and there is the hack on the Doomfist as well, who looks to survive, yeah, but both brought down, punches back in, invests a Meteor Strike, that's forced to be brought out early, looks to find a pick actually, looks to find 2, jumps on it, the Kiri with a perfect Suzu timing. That's really nice work from Rice Grain.
Yeah, it's a big fight for Hallam Hammers, and Southampton don't really have any ultimates to try and get this push going back. A minute and a half left, they're going to have to either find some sort of miracle pick or just look to try and play a little slower, build up these ultimates and go back into the push. But Hammers have a lot to try and combat this. 4 ultimates, the EMP's going to come early.
And there's the Mercy as well. That's a nice ult from Finfinity, once again taking the fight to the opposition. Same as last EMP. Really nice work, and it's definitely a one-out fight here because the Doomfist has been forced to back away this time, right? Finfinity looks to survive and does do so, but Consolon's always staying as a threat. Eventually noted on the back line, does get the dig prior to the hack, so it is able to regroup with their team, which is huge for Southampton Seagull, who finds a Lucio out in the open. Obama with a nice shot. Rice Grain brought low too. The Doom can punish that and does do so. That seismic slam. It's really looking rough for Hallam Hammers here. They've lost their tank too. The Deadeye has to be huge. Gets one. The Juno brought down, equalizing that support number a tiny bit, but the punch is huge prior to the Hinder grenade. And Consolons keeps the win on the side, but the beat in the rush invested gives Hallam Hammers a lifeline back in this fight, and they do good to capitalize off it. The Kiriko headshot onto Obama brings him down. And they have survived one more fight. With 20 seconds left on the clock, it's now up to the Southampton Seagull to reinvest here, and they're close to some ults. Can they build them up in time?
They're not game-winning ultimates. It's only the Valkyrie, the High Noon, but that's a great pick on the Rice Grains. Consolation needs to stay alive though, but he's running it down. Maybe the res can come out from Lilliput, but 4v4 now.
Oh my god. What a find from the Venture, and we're into overtime. The res doesn't come through, but Ninja's going crazy on that Venture, gets the ultimate as well. The Deadeye from Obama looks to take a lot of damage onto the Monkey, who's in Primal Rage, brought down so low and does die Obama, and Ninja combining to make the fight happen for Southampton Seagull to get that final full push. What a round.
Yeah, they were very quick through the first 2 points. It seemed like 2 minutes on first point. I think pretty much just 2 fights on the second point, and then they halted a little bit on third points. They lost their big ult fight, so they just had to sit there, just pretty much mind the clock, build their ults back up, and they got them just in time to just fully cap the map.
Yeah, and look at the deaths for Azelthia and Rice Grain on those supports. They're getting punished so often. So often the first targets of the fight. It's really nice prioritizing from the Southampton Seagull team. Just making it so much more difficult for Hallam Hammers to survive there when their backline is nuked so early in that fight. And on the other side, it's a few less deaths, just giving them a little bit more aid in those longer withdrawn fights. And that's Consolons really at the start of the show, 20-1 on that Doomfist, and obviously maintains that pick into this defensive half.
Yeah, there's not much point in swapping up the Doomfist if you're going 20-1, but it's going to be the Reaper from Obama. A lot easier to punish that Winston on his engage if he gets slightly sloppy with it. It's a very free punish. And Ninja over to the Freya instead of the Venture. Again, I don't mind that at all. If Obama's moving towards off this hit scan, Ninja's going to keep the pressure up on the Freya and is able to survive these Winston dives quite easily.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about the Soldier pick. Definitely a decent character, but Emre and Cass both feel better for me here, but we'll see if Gangstagana can make it work. Freya, looking for some bolts there, and can't quite land anything, but Consolons punches the Monkey off the high ground, so takes control of their space. It's aggressive from Azelthia, but does survive this time around. Here comes the jump, Lillipop low, and Otto with the first pick, and it's huge onto that Mercy, so no res here. But Consolons trades out Finfinity, so now we're 4 for 4, but a support pick's definitely nice. The Freya getting big damage onto Otto, who's forced into this mega room, does find it, and Obama, Wraithform invested, stays forwards, and is going to get punished for it. Tries to combine with Consolons, who once again finds the pick as his teammate goes down, but it's looking like a better fight for Hallam Hammers just about. Oh, but Southampton Seagull have regrouped here, and that's a really nice shot from Ninja, takes down Finfinity. Those were double bolts. That was incredible movement as well.
I was talking about that Freya earlier, the value you can find already 84% to that bowline. Lilliput moving on to the Kiri instead of the Mercy, able to just survive and peel for the Winston a little bit better. Not needing to really hit Sky more, but Gels are going to get first pick by Otter, but can Otter get out? I think he can, and Ninja's falling low as well to Finfinity on the Sombra. Otter's found a second pick on this Winston, and I think that's pretty much the point. Unless Consolations is still alive, you can maybe live for this recontest, but they're looking to contest it early, and I think they might just get punished for this.
Could build up the Meteor Strike if he lands his punches right. Just looks to survive here with the aid of support. Has to touch now. The punch comes through. It's not going to make it though. A little bit of a mistake there. 5 minutes now on the clock for Hallam Hammers, and they're kind of forced into this fight. Consolons can't escape, and that's a real bad punish. Jealous does well to find Lucio on the torpedoes, but the Monkey jumping in finds one. Looks to find a second on the Emre. The support comes through from the Juno, but it's not quite healing enough. And now Jealous is in such a sticky situation, the Sobra hack as well, to bring that Juno down to the ground. Gets the health pack room, but it's a death sentence here for Jealous, who's now just been staggered so brutally. And that's a big find for Hallam Hammers, and you know what we were talking about with the supports being brought down so early for Hallam last round. It's the reverse story for Southampton here, just getting killed right as the fight begins.
A big fight to win as you get the space, and Otter's going to go early, but Consolations again is going to find the first pick, and it's on to Gangsta Ghana this time. Otter, Primal Rage in the backline though, Obama's going to fall low, he's going to get the kill. Infinity trades out Lillipop, and a little 3v4 now. Consolations looking for a trade, tries to punch the Winston, is going to be, I think, just forced out here. So there's just too much pressure, but a little miss bubble that might allow Jealous and Ninja just to stay in a little bit on this high ground. And Otter? I think that might have been maybe a disconnect.
It looked a bit like a mouse death to me, because there was a little bit of movement still, but it wasn't great, and that's really unfortunate for Hallam Hammers there, as Consolons is going to take that time to do some big damage. The Lucio and the Kiri look to survive and get away, regrouping with their tank.
It's going to cost them a lot. They're going to lose a lot of space here. Look, Southampton pushed all the way up to the start of the second point. They had so much space to work with Hallam, but now being constricted just into the start and looking for a punch here. Goes wide, but can he get out?
Ooh, Gangsta Ghana. And here comes the Emery ultimate. Obama looking to find one, but in that Winston bubble they stay alive, and that's really good positioning. Ninja does do well to take out Zelthia, but slightly even trades, and then Hallam Hammers do take it into a man advantage situation. Ninja with some nice Freya bolts, but with the aid of the Kiriko, Soldier 76, Gangsta Ghana there looking to survive, and they do cap that second point too, and they're playing it definitely faster than Southampton did, but Consolons finds Finfinity early into this fight.
They are going to find that second point. Consolons look to go early here, but 4 ults inside a hammer should be able to cycle these, maybe even just complete the map. There's not too many answers inside Southampton, but that's a lovely answer out from Ninja. Double bolt against the Ghana, and pressure out from Obama a bit. The EMP in catches 4 members. Only Consolation goes down, and a trade out from Obama. The ball is well bit from Ninja. Obama falls up to find a second, a third from Obama, and that EMP is not going to amount to anything.
Yeah, it was Ninja combining as well, just getting a lot of damage, and Obama looks to clean up the double hit scan here. Looking super strong for Southampton Seagull, moving away from that Reaper, who maybe just felt like they couldn't get quite close enough in that range to deal real issues to Winston. As another early punch from Consolons, there's the hack onto the Freya, who is forced to drop out off the high ground, and that's good value for Finfinity, who can survive this time. And Rice Trains found Obama early on. The Kiriko combining with the Lucio, it supports onto that DPS, and there's Otter onto Lillipop. It's 2 up for Hallam Hammers in what could really be the last fight if they can bring out this Juno early on. Then now it's really just 2 left, and the Doomfist, who's been such a struggle to kill, is now brought alone. Has to survive, has to get out. There's the Kiriko able to support and has the rush to reinvest, but on the other side Rice Crane has it too, so it could be rush for rush in this fight. The Prime was supposed to be built, there it is, and there's both. A Reaper comes through, but here's the rush by the Gangsta Ghana finds 2. The Wraith forced to be invested. Can he find any more? Gangsta Ghana gets the 3rd, Gangsta Ghana combines with Otter for the 4th. Ninja brought down, and now it's just Consolons on that tank, and Finfinity does well to get the 5th, and that's a huge fast push from Hallam Hammer. 3 minutes 46 over the Southampton Seagull.
I mean, yeah, they just went a lot faster there than Southampton. Southampton had the Kitsune Rush and Ray, but Hallam go early with their Kitsune Visor combo. It just catches both the backline off guard. I think it might have been a Ray Jax even from Jealous. I saw the Ray be used, but I didn't think I saw it on the field. So yeah, just getting caught off guard by the pace that Hallam just seemed to have just discovered on this attacking side.
Yeah, Lillipop on that support has overtaken the deaths from the opposing support line, and Gangsta Ghana, I was questioning that soldier pick, but makes me look like a fool with that massive visor right at the end and some overall good damage, good consistent pressure throughout the rest of this half, and maintaining it on the defense this time. It could be the pick that holds them at that first point. That's the ideal here for Hallam Hammers.
Yeah, it's going to be really ideal just playing around. I think it's just this DPS line, including Otter as well in the tank. Just those 3 players seem to be, I mean, really just turned it up to attack. Finfinity's finding these amazing hacks and EMPs. Otter's following up really consistently on them, and Gangsta Ghana's just shooting things and killing things.
Yeah, I feel like Otter's my MVP so far, just noting when the enemies are vulnerable and managing to take the fight to them, forcing them into uncomfortable positions or forcing them back to the spawn room. The Emre pocketed. Obama looks to be the one to go big this time. Had a massive 3k towards the end of the last half and looks to maintain that form. Some nice headshots found, forcing a little bit of value off the high ground as Constance has made his way over to the right hand side, punches the monkey off low. So now Right Screen has to drop too, and it's good presence from the tank of Southampton Seagull, but Ninja brought so low. Means the reverse is true. There's the hack as well. Consolon's brought down so low. Can the punish come through? No, it's actually Ninja on Infinity, but there it is. Otter does well to find the tank and Gangster Ghana on Obama. It's a hit scan diff. The res comes through, but not quite able to do it. Lillipup dies for their sins, dies for the greedy attempt there, and Gangster Ghana and Otter there looking to go forward to find more. And there's a pick onto Jealous as well, and that's a really nice opening fight for Hallam Hammers, who despite losing someone early managed to turn it around in a massive way.
Yeah, there's only 10 seconds left for Southampton. Someone's going to have to be the touch. It's going to be Consolations probably. Oh no, it's actually going to be Ninja on the Venture. Consolations maybe looking to up on the high. But they just go early, Hallam. They find Lillipup and they find Jealous. Gangster Ghana with 2 in the back line. Trying to live out. Obama's going to find a trade. And
Ninja.
another from Ninja. But he's so low. Otter finds another trade back. It's going to be 3v3 on the point. Consolations looking, finding, searching for anything. But it's Otter cleaning up on the Winston.
Yeah, and it's just the Venture underground, and there's the hack come through. They're not going to get the Mega either with the Sombra hacked health back, and that's going to be it for that push. And Gangster Ghana did die in that fight, but died after finding both supports, and Southampton Seagull just ran into that back line, blew up the Juno, and didn't really matter at that point what happened to them. That's a really nice hold.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to defend that if you're Southampton Seagull. Basically a full time back again to 4 minutes, and it's barely under the tunnel. They're gonna have to maybe pull something out of the bag, try some sort of wild card, because the Doomfist, the Emery, the Mercy, it's lost its magic, and that's Amalga.
That is indeed
Come a long way since joining
Amalga.
I'm thankful.
I'm curious as to, I guess the logic here is they know they're going to have to fight on point a lot, so you pick up someone who can just stand there and spin in circles with those massive guns, and then press one button to survive for a good few seconds and just unkillable for a little bit.
Under. I like this out from Southampton. They know they have to push this car under, so they're just going to set up under and force them into the brawling in this small under passage.
Yeah, I would love to see a Reaper here. I think it would be really good into the plan they're playing, but the Venture Bastion definitely also a real presence up in close range. Obama looks to go for some early damage, gets some charge towards that ultimate, tries to be the first for it, and Otto, who's now seen the trap, jumps away and does survive. The Gangster Ghana Widow is going to struggle to find anything here with the way they're playing, and might also look to switch early on.
Yes, they know it for now, but they're just pushing the cart into them. The hack comes out from Infinity onto Obama, and also going to look to push up the damage. With the Amalga and the Bastion, they're just going to look to collapse on
Obama.
Otter, but Infinity's going to find Obama, the red out from Lillipup, and a trade onto Infinity from Jealous, and Otter's going to be forced to jump away, but already the cart is pushed close to that golden box of victory, but how do you break?
Yeah, it looks like we're going back to the corner rooms. I wonder what they chose.
The Zarya.
Zarya Sojourn, interesting. 2 characters we haven't seen at all on this map so far, and that's not a surprise. They're not the most common picks all the time. Zarya especially I feel like is relatively rare here, unless you're playing with that Vendetta, which they're not. And the hack on the tank as well, just looking to cause some pressure on the backline. Infinity being a nuisance in the back as Zarya walks forward on the front. Otter is brought very low. That shield instantly burned through with the pocket from the Bastion, and Southampton are looking like they're being a bit of a threat here. Hallam Hammers don't quite know what to do about it, but they are going to find the Mercy. Lillipup brought it down and obviously can't rest themselves. So now it's really ahead. That's a lovely rail from Gangster Ghana onto Jealous as well. Both supports are gone. Ninja, the last alive with Obama, and that is it.
So big map run out from the Hammers and a big pick from Gangster Ghana. Moves over to that Sojourn just to have a more consistent pressure than the Widowmaker, and instantly finds a rail onto Lillipup, and that's probably the best pick you could ask for in that situation. Slides in, taps the Juno as well, and the composition falls apart without the sustain.
Yeah, here was that rush by. Let's see if we see the Ray. I actually don't know. You think you're right. It was a bit of a Ray Jax, but it's just huge from Gangster Ghana with that ultimate and with the Kiriko support. And I think overall, that's a great map played by Hallam Hammers. I think Otter deserves a lot of praise for how they played that map, getting so much value on every tank they picked, and it was really nice work despite the opposition getting a full push on their attack side.
Otter and Gangsta Ghana there, finding a lot of crucial kills in those moments. And what does Southampton look to go to now? We've seen the Doomfist look out of them. Do they want to keep this look? But then we've also seen this heavy Mauga composition. Do they want to lean into that a little bit more? Go to a more brawly sense of the map? But
yeah, it seemed a little bit more successful. I don't know about you. I quite liked the look they had out on that brawl, but also I don't know if it was the most comfortable composition. Doomfist and Mauga's a little bit of an interesting tank pool, if that is the tank pool for Ponzolons, but we'll see, right?
You can do a lot with Mauga with enough coordination. It is one of those tanks where if you are a little uncoordinated, you will find the Mauga going in by themselves, feeding and pretty much dying all the time. But if you do have that follow-up with that Mauga, it can be quite a deadly combination. So if they do want to lean into that Mauga, it did not look too terrible on that underside of the Gibraltar. Maybe look to go for a flashpoint or a control map here, but again, we will have to see.
And you got to remember, Anna was banned into this map, who's definitely a strong pick alongside the Mauga, very good at keeping them alive in a way that a Mercy line isn't really so good at doing, so definitely could be brought out here. And I imagine we might even see a Doomfist ban if the map is the right one for the other side. I think it was the biggest threat for Southampton Seagull, so Hallam Hammers might want to say no to that, and if they do, then I can definitely see a Mauga pick. But it is also important to note that this is the first loss in the lower bracket for Southampton Seagull. So can they recover from it? Because in that one series they did lose to Warwick Antlers, they didn't pick up a map, it was a clean 2-0. So Hallam Hammers got to feel confident regarding that.
Yeah, can Southampton keep their confidence in this lower bracket one? They've been flawless so far, and even after this map loss they need to just keep their focus, keep their mental, keep strong, keep focused, and try to bounce back.
I also feel like they need to keep a little bit of faith in themselves. We saw quite a lot of switching up. I don't mind the final point because it's a completely different vibe when you're holding one specific place for 3.5 minutes. You need to be able to sustain and survive, so Brawl definitely feels like an apt pick there. But overall, within the map so far, they had a lot of switches, a lot of support line switches, a lot of DPS switches. The tank was the only one who I felt really stayed consistent, and I'd like to see them have a bit more faith in themselves, because clearly they have good ideas with what they want to run. They have more comfort with certain heroes, and I'd like to see them feel like they can be the ones to define this series.
Hallam playing this more just fixed composition, not too many switches. You saw the Soldier instead of the Emre, and you saw the very early swap onto the Sombra just to pressure the Doomfist a little bit more. Just a more solid idea of we're sticking to this, and maybe that's helped a lot for them. They've just got that stability, and Southampton need to find it.
Yeah, and here we get to see what map they do end up picking. Obviously it is the Seagull pick because they lost it, and they go for New Junk City. So definitely an interesting map choice. I think the less popular of the Flashpoint, certainly amongst the people I've spoken to, but a fun map nonetheless. And one thing I really like about Flashpoint is it feels like you can play so many different styles on it. I think Brawl works really, really well. Dive can work really, really well because you can segment them off as well. And I think this plays into both teams' hands. And yeah, I like the pick. I like it.
I don't mind it at all. It works for both of what they want to do. The Mauga, pretty prevalent on this map, can be played on these tight spaces for those big stomps, and also the Doomfist can get himself quite involved on even the tight points and the more open points. There's a lot of options to work with on this map, and well, it all depends on the bans.
Yeah, absolutely is. We would look to get into the bans as well as soon as possible, because I'm so curious as to what they want to do. There's so much variability on this map, and we saw such complete different styles with that Mauga versus that Doomfist. So it'll be interesting to see if the Hallam Hammers want to define who gets picked into this series, who they can and can't face on the other side. As there it is, the Mauga's banned, so they want to fight. I'm interested by this, right? This because Seagull get the first ban with that Sombra, and you'd think if they're taking out the Sombra, you'd want to get rid of the Doomfist, right? Because that's the main way you countered the Doomfist in the prior match. But here they take out the Mauga, so maybe they're more confident fighting into that Doom.
Yeah, maybe just thinking that their style of play is going to be better into the Doomfist and the Mauga, and just wanting just to delete the potential of the Mauga swap. So you would think that Southampton with that first ban are going to lean into this Doomfist. So what have the Hammers been cooking up to try and stop this?
Yeah, maybe a Cassidy pick could be the big answer to the Doomfist. Definitely a struggle when the Anna's back available. Those sleep darts can be really vulnerable. We're really good at making the Doomfist vulnerable. It's harder to jump a backline when the backline can sleep you, especially prior to that major perk selection, which I hate facing against that major perk. I think it's really strong, and it makes the timing of abilities much more precise for the opposition, which can be really difficult to do in a chaotic fight that is especially brought out by the likes of a Doomfist. As we get into this, another beautiful B-roll here as we look at New Junk City, which is saved from destruction, unlike Gibraltar. It's just a little bit of a deserted Australian wasteland. But I like what we're seeing here. There's a little gas mask as we get prepared for what could be the final map of this series.
Yeah. Can Southampton take this map and force this map 3? Can we go all the way, or is it just going to get closed out here on map 2 by the Hammers? And it's going to be a Roadhog?
Oh, goodness me. Okay, sure. You know what? Sure. I don't know why they banned Sombra if they're not playing with the Doomfist. Maybe they just really didn't enjoy it. On the other side, the Zarya, we saw Otter pick it up, and I think that makes sense on this map. Very strong here. Finfinity on the Reaper can get those bubble Death Blossoms, can be such a struggle, and also can just TP into the backline with a bubble and cause so much pressure. On the other side, the Kiri, there's an early hook, but that bubble is huge from Otter. And on the other side, the Roadhog, suffering from the Roadhog fate of being brought down really low. The Lucio from Alzelthia, who struggled quite a lot on the previous map, but then found their footing, looks to survive here as Gangster Gunner and Finfinity combine for the first two. Ninja on the backline gets a double trade and looks to get the Lucio as well, but does get brought down by Alzelthia, who I think was genuinely one shot away from dying, so it's a massive pick with those couple headshots. Reaper, taking some vulnerability, has to invest that Wraithform, but does survive, and that's an early point picked up for the Hallam Hammers.
Yeah, I feel like you're definitely going to struggle to play the Roadhog here into this Zarya Reaper competition. It's going to... Yeah, I say that. I eat my words. I was about to say...
There's the value.
You could live that Reaper if you can just live that hook with the bubble and the Wraithform, but... Infinity gets hooked, but it's going to be a trade on the Gels from Rice Grain. The Hog able to sustain themselves on that right side. It's going to be Gangsta Ghana again, finding another pick. A crucial pick on Obama. The hook back from Constellations. Comes to 3v3 and the flip of the point for Southampton.
Yeah, it's really nice work there. They do get the flip burn. It's gonna be instantly reflipped, but there's 16% is nothing to scoff at, and the most important thing I think about that flip is that it brings Hallam Hammers further away from it. Consolons, I believe, must have got another hook there, because that's a huge find, but Finfinity trades out the Kiriko picks, and Consolons looks to flip the point once more, and I don't know, I'm not sure about this Roadhog pick, because it's getting a lot of value, but it's also leaving the team so exposed. Obama here can't get around this corner because of the Emre, and the Zari here walks down the Venture, but there's Consolons with another find, so definitely doing the job of a Roadhog. I just don't know if it's enough here with what the rest of the team's doing. There's that bubble. Again, aids the survival of the hook, but the investor of the ultimate, and it's just going to lead to death for Consolons, and that's going to be it for point number 1.
Yeah, I mean, Consolons putting in a lot of work, but the rest of the team is just kind of not able to survive. I mean, the Roadhog able to play, obviously, by themselves, pretty free-thinking tank, but the backline just very exposed for this Zarya Reaper. I mean, you look at the ult percentage, Lilipup's only got 57 to her name, and Jealous only got 80 on the Orbital Ray, but on the side of the Hammers, it's pretty much 5 ultimates already.
Yeah, it's. I think that's the real kicker here, but that's a massive find onto the Lucio. The Death Blossom going to get nothing, just brings the player low, and Obama does end up dying. Otter finds 2, but Consolon's gone to Finfinity, and we're at an even fight. I don't know, I just think the Roadhog is, despite getting so many picks, you're right, it's just the backline is so exposed that no matter what Consolons does, it's never going to be enough. When Otter and Finfinity are looking to run it down alongside the speed from the Lucio, there's the Venture trying to find pressure onto the Kiriko, but going to have to eventually surface from the ground, and there's a big grab, picks up 2, and the Suzu doesn't quite save Jealous, but the Consolon's Roadhog does live, and the Deadeye does get Gangster Gunner as well. There's the hit scan down for Hallam Hammers. There's Obama looking to find some beautiful shots. There's another kill onto Azelthia, who's now been brought down twice by Obama's Cassidy. There's another shot onto the Reaper. Finfinity down 2, and tank of Otter does get Ninja. It's a little parting gift, but that's the first proper fight won for Southampton Seagull.
I mean, you do see, yeah, I do see, like, I like this little switch up in Constellations there. Instead of going flank, he plays in front of the backline, absorbs most of the damage from the grab. Jealous unfortunately goes down, but Lilipub able to stay alive, and Obama, while that's all happening, all the attention's on this tank and the Kiriko, able to get the flank high noon, and I think pick off 2. So, a little switch up in playstyle of the Roadhog, and it seems to maybe have found its footing a little bit, as that's a big hook to start the fight, but a trade.
Yeah, that rush. Luckily, not quite Ajax there. Valkyrie hooked right at the right point, but Otto does it well to make use of that speed and everything else that comes with a Kitsune Rush, the cooldown reduction too, and that's going to be a massively one fight for Hallam Hammers. And as we get into a pause, as Lilypop's internet looks to be having a little bit of a struggle. That's unfortunate because this map so far has been very, very entertaining.
Yeah, you saw that last fight there. The walk up from the Roadhog, maybe just getting a little too up. I mean, he gets the hook, but gets blown up by the Kitsune Rush a little too far away from his supports, and maybe just needs to, even though he's on the Roadhog, trying to look for this pick, just slow the tempo down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is a little bit of a case of the Suzu not being able to be brought out by the Kiriko, who has had internet issues, could have kept the tank alive, but even still, hard to escape a rush on that bridge unless you drop down and fight below. But if you're dead, you can't drop, right? It's. I think you're right about the call of Consol's changing his playstyle up, playing more with the team is the right way to go about this, because I mean the Roadhog always has that one-shot potential. If your Cactus Zarya out with no bubbles, then you can also bring down that tank half HP instantly, right? It's not an unwinnable pick, right? Like you can't. It's not like he's an instant throw. So switching things up and playing around with the team does aid Southampton Seagull overall, despite maybe a little bit of individuality lost for the tank. But other than that, it is looking like there's some refighting coming in as well. Obama with some really nice shots, so it's definitely open for Southampton Seagull if they can come out of this tech pause with a full 5 on good internet. They have definitely the means to make it up and flip this map on its head.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this Zarya Reaper, it's obviously the Roadhog. It's very easy to just blow up. Again, if I said this before, you just overstep your boundaries a little bit, you can just get bubbled on by the Zarya Reaper and pretty much just blow up, as we saw in the last fight. So it's going to be on, I think, just going to be on consolations and just how you place this Roadhog, really.
Yeah, as we get back into this map now, and Obama looks to find the Emery, brought so low, but does get the survivability. The hook on the Reaper, sorry, takes him so low, but not quite able to find that pick with the extra health bar of that DPS. And Obama there on the Lucio once more. That's 3 fights now. Well, Obama has found Azeltia really early on, and that's exactly what you want to do as a cast. There's a hook coming in, and that's a beautiful shot by Consolon. Finfinity does do well to take out the Venture, and the nade misses the Roadhog, or the Reaper, sorry, who can keep walking forwards. That's 2 pounds for Finfinity, looking to equalize the score, but it's 85 now for Southampton Seagull, so they have to go in without their tank, and that's a lovely hook. And there's the ultimate as well. That's going to be it. Surely, yeah, the Lucio can't get there. The Kiriko's forced away. There's another hook and blows them up. And the Diva swap is going to be a little bit too little too late, you'd imagine. Looks to recontest, but the hook missed. Does give some aid for survivability. The Ray is going to be invested, though, to definitely guarantee this fight. And I don't hate that, because you just want to make sure you win.
Knowing that Azentia has that beat on the other side as well. And that's going to be a lot better just overall play from Southampton there. They're just playing more as a unit rather than, what was it, individuals. Consolation hooking in line, hooking into his team, not just going on these flanks. And accidentally early hook forced the Wraith out onto the Diva. Otter gets the hook early, but it's going to be a beat out from the Hammers, and Southampton sent to the hills a little bit.
Yeah, so Emery ult that ends up being more of a zoning tool. Actually, I lie, Obama gets brought down, and there is that value from the Emery. But yeah, on the other side, it's taken out a lot of space for Southampton Seagull. They're very segmented now. The Curie has invested the TP and the Suzu, so vulnerable, and Otter's going to melee them down. Lilypop punched in the face, punched to death, and now it's Consolon's getting a hook onto the Emery and stays alive. The boop can't quite aid the survivability. The Venture's underground as well. So it's good stall. The hook there missed for Consolons, who has to back away with that breathing mask to maintain that health. And that's the point for Hallam Hammers, safely controlled for now.
Yeah, I like this Diva swap from Otter. Able to pressure the Roadhog a bit more and just take angles on this whole team in general. If you think Consolation is going to be leaving his backline a little exposed, the Diva's certainly going to punish that. And able to just also peel for these hooks with the defense matrix, obviously. And looking to go a little aggressive here. Hook out from Consolation, doesn't find anything, and Southampton are just going to back up a little bit, just absorb the aggression. It's going to be a good Helix rocket, but Consolation is fighting on the point.
Yeah, and he's brought very low, does have to survive, drops down, and now there's the vulnerability. Ninja does well to find Azeltia again, who just keeps finding themselves dead at the start of these fights. Otter does well with those micro missiles, but punched off the point by the Venture. But so low, the Curie's now here to aid, and the bomb is there for the remake too. The Juno's so low, there's Jealous, brought down by the Helix rocket from Gangsta Ghana, and oh, what a defense matrix. That hook is I mean, it's a nice hook, but you can't do anything when the bullets don't get to make their way through.
Yeah, I talked about as soon as that fight happened, Otter just able to punish. If Consolation's out of position, punish the backline. We see exact thing happen. Consolation's just a little too split with that whole hog fighting on the point, and Consolation and Otter is able to go in and pick off Lillipup and pressure hard onto Jealous. And that's going to be a one fight. And the Kitsune Rush invested early. High noon out from Obama. And Consolations are going to find that pick. And Obama won, but Otter's found a trade already. So it's going to be a 3v4, but with no backline for the Hammers. And a lovely shot there from Obama with no backline. And that's just going to be the fight for Seagulls.
Yeah, it's really nice work. Despite the early rush on the other side, they're looking to get ahead of it, the Hallam Hammers, but they invest in no other ultimates. And I'm thinking that might have been a bit of a mistake, because the Deadeye from Obama gets one, then a nice headshot found, and closes out that point. And I think this Cassidy pick from Obama has been the real nail in the coffin for every fight they've won. The Hallam Hammers can't quite deal with it. It's Azalthea who's been brought down 3 times by it, and then also that bench roll 1 time, but that's a bit less criminal. The Reaper on the right side looks to put some pressure on as Gangster Garner comes with his flank, has the visor whenever they choose to invest it, just getting some damage out early, pops a biotic field and takes that right click from the Cassidy, who's so low. Obama does get brought out by the Helios Rock, and it's Otter onto the Lily Pop as well. Jealous takes down Finfinity, so it's a 4v3, and Azalthea brought out by the Juno 2, that's a speed diff, but Otter onto Jealous, trades it out, and now it's 3 up for the Hallam Hammers. The Hog is going to be just bullied out by that defense matrix, and Rice with the headshot. Now it's just Adventure who can't get underground because Otter flies them up into the sky and punches them down. And that's the second point here for Hallam Hammers, taking it 2-1 on this flashpoint, and looks to find this map with the third.
And again, they didn't have to use too much there. I think it was only the beat from Azalea, and they still have 3 ults to work with. Seagulls only have that Ray close to that whole hog, but the defense matrix of Otter, I don't know how much value it'll find, so ball is in the Hammer's court right now.
Yeah, and you have to demake that D.Va probably twice, because the bomb is there for the remake unless the hook can come out, but with the Caesar of Rice Grain it should be difficult for them to prevent the remake, so it really could be a struggle even within that Ray. You've got to bait out the defense matrix or demake that D.Va as they're posturing up onto the point, just looking to take control of it, take the early cap. There's the visor invested, and the defense matrix is offered to keep them alive, but the Deadeye does demake the D.Va, who now has to invest that bomb, so that's demake number 1 if they want to Ray and whole hog. And that's a good start. There's a hook as well. Actually cancels out the remake. There it is, and they're going to invest that Ray now. Here it comes. The hog walking forward. The death boss from the backline finds one, but the hook from Consolons stops any further damage. The remake has come through actually from the D.Va. Otter flying through. But the Venture in the backline going to put pressure on the DPS. Soldier so low, and there's Obama combining onto Gangster Garner. There's Obama combining onto Rice Grain 2. That's a 2k for the Cassidy. Onto backline of Hallam Hammers. There's a hook on the D.Va as well. Actually hooks the dying mech, but Ninja does well to find that final piece, and that's a really nice fight from Southampton Seagull, but Hallam Hammers made their way up to 44% during that.
Seagull able to absorb the aggression of the ultimates perfectly. Hook onto Otter forces that remake out early, and Finfinity's death ultimate gets also shut down by another great hook from Consolations. And it's going to be now the ultimate advantage on the side of the Southampton Seagulls.
Yeah, they used everything actually there, you're right. The Hallam Hammers coming in with nothing, and Azalthea forced away with the D.Va. It's just a whole hog here to build up some time, and what a hook! That's unreal from Consolons. Here's the massive hog value, and that's just an instantly won fight this time. 1 ult invested, and it's another one! Consolons goes nuclear! And that just staggers out the Kiriko, who has that rush, has that big ultimate for the Hallam Hammers, but just more percentage being taken. He's got another one, but the defense matrix this time keeps them alive, and they've got to play a little bit safer here because they're giving them open opportunities. So this Hog, who's not missing a hook, pulls the D.Va around the corner, and Obama has to fly away. They can't get anything going here because Consolons hooks them out right at the start. And there's Azalthea, who's going to use the beat, doesn't quite Ajax, so God's able to get that health off, and there's Obama brought down, found out of position, and found punished by Gangster Garner, and that's going to be the rush invested as well. Here it is, the Speed Ring 2, and they're going to look to fit the fight, but Azalthea and Finfinity combining onto 2, now it's just Consolons. And there's Jealous brought down 2. That's going to be it. The Hallam Hammers, Consolons does get 1 out as well, but it's a Soldier who can sprint too, and I mean, he's going massive right now, but it's not quite enough.
I mean, yeah, it's a great fight there for the Hammers, only using the beat in the engage, and Southampton, even with that early pick and low HP, but decide to throw 2 ultimates in there and don't get much for it. The Kitsune Rush and that Tectonic Shot being invested, and a lot of ults again. Now the advantage has swung back to the Hammers. You only have that high noon on the side of Southampton. Maybe you can build up to that whole hog and that orbital ray, but Hammers again have all the momentum swung back to them.
Yeah, and we saw what closed it out on Gibraltar. It was that Kitsune visor, and they have that one here again. Otto goes forward early, and there's the Kitsune, and there's the visor. The Deadeye on the side gets the hook onto the soldier. Actually, that's that visor brought down, and there's a Hinder grenade to take out Rice Grain. That's beautiful work with Finfinity on the side. Then Otto's off the map. The whole hog pushes the Diva away. Finfinity gets the Death Blossom, but gets hooked out, and there's Lilipop to shoot out the spinning Reaper, who's actually stunned out and is no longer spinning. The Beyblade brought to a stop. That's 2-2, and I mean, they have handled that fight about as perfectly as you can.
I mean, it seems any team doesn't have the ultimate advantage just decides to lose the fight. I mean, it's brilliant there again from Consolations. Gets that early hook onto Gangsta Ghana with the high noon for Obama, gets the kill, and then just throws Otter off the map so he's not able to remake.
Yeah, this is an incredible tank performance. That hook on the visor, which would have found, honestly, like 3 or 4. And every time we watch him and he misses a hook, it's like it's the least important hook that he misses, and it's the most important one that he hits. But Gangsta Ghana takes out Ninja, giving that DPS advantage early, and there's Obama brought so low, looking to be kept alive, and actually aids the Chuno, who shoots down Azelthia, and that's a punish. There's Finfinity onto Consolons, and the tank is lost, and Lilipop actually looks to turn it around anyway. So it's kind of awkward here. They do have tank advantage, and they have the point too, but it's not super comfortable for Hallam Hammers, who are going to posture up on the high ground, but Obama looks to build up towards that Deadeye once more. And they're going to reposture, obviously. Yeah.
Sorry, Seagulls might look to just reset early here, you said, but those 2 picks on the side of the Hammers. Seagull might just look to go early here. And is that a flank out? No, Consolations is a main. I thought he was flanking, but they're just going to plop themselves on the point.
Obama has the Deadeye.
Dueling on the point, but Obama
Oh dear.
not in the line of care for support. And Otter
Suzu
goes
being
in. Good Suzu. Jealous able to stay alive.
Rice Train does a nice job onto Lilipop, and Finfinity onto Jealous too, and that's looking like it could be it, really. It's just Consolons alive here. And it's no longer Consolons alive here. Actually, the Venture's here too, but the Venture has to back away. Ninja, can they survive? No, they can't. Gangsta Ghana finds 2, and now with 75%, they're going to have to switch off this Roadhog. He won't make it back in time. And there is the Doomfist pick. Ninja onto the Freya is interesting, considering, no, there's a Tracer pick, so actually looking to stall out that point as much as possible. But will they retouch in time? The Diva can boop them away, and so can that Lucio. 3%, there is the Doomfist, and that's going to be the one. But here comes the Ray as well, but the visor from Gangsta Ghana finds one. Consolons with the big punch, known to be good on this Doomfist, and Obama onto Finfinity. The advantage looks to be on Southampton Seagulls, but Otto takes out Lilipop, so there's the support brought down. The Susan is invested by Rice Grain, so they're now vulnerable, but Rice Grain punches out Obama, and Otto finds one more. There's an unfortunate error for Ninja off the map, and that's just going to leave Consolons alone. And Otto finds 2, and finds the map, and finds the series. Hallam Hammers survive the lower bracket, and the Seagull is brought down.
Yeah, Consolation's doing his best there, but Otter on the other side dropping a monstrous game with a 39-6.
Yeah.
We were talking about, is it going to be the momentum or the experience? And it seems the experience has come out on top.
I mean, this play was really nice. This kill onto Lucio was super good, and Obama, I think, had a lot of moments, but right in that early fight, that Deadeye on the high ground, you were right out of the line of sight for the supports, and they didn't have their high damage Cassidy in that fight, and when the pressure was for Hallam Hammers, they crushed the opposition there, and forcing the tank switch, and we know Consolons is good on that Doomfist, even got value within that fight, but it's not quite the same as being able to stick to what you've been running the entire map. And it's not going to be enough for them, as Hallam Hammers do 2-0 them in this series, but definitely some great moments for the Seagull.
Yeah, a great run in general from the Seagulls through this lower bracket. They'll have to generally be happy with how they've played so far. I mean, another great performance today, even though they lost. We saw a lot of highlight plays from just the whole team, realistically, and yeah, they should be happy that they've gotten this far.
Yeah, you're right. I think they should be happy. I mean, you get knocked to the lower bracket in your first series in Division 4, and it's a brutal feeling because you know you're going to have to run that gauntlet, and that gauntlet they did continue to run, taking it all the way to the gauntlet map itself, to New Junk City. But Hallam Hammers do crown themselves the monarchs of that area, and look to continue as they will be facing Peanuts, who won their lower bracket game to aid their survivability. And I'd love to see, just keep an eye on that bracket and see how they manage to do as they further themselves through in this Division 4. And we are going to look here to get someone in for an interview, so it'll be a short break as we get that all sorted.
turn down. Everything will turn down.
Okay, we are back, and we are so privileged to be joined by Otter, who was the tank for the winning side there. And I want to say congratulations, Otter, for an incredible performance from both you and your team. Congratulations on surviving in this lower bracket. How are you feeling?
Fantastic. I'm honestly so proud of my team. This is my last season of uni esports, so I wanted to try and help my team get a win. So we were quite upset last week, so having one step closer to our final is really important to us. So I'm so proud of my team. We played phenomenal tonight. I'm really proud of us all.
Yeah, I saw a lot of, I think on both teams there, the real standout performances were you and Consolons, the tank on the other side, and I feel like that tank matchup was a great watch. Is there anything that surprised you about his gameplay?
Oh no, I mean, I honestly, major respect to him. Fantastic gameplay. I'm not gonna lie. Was really difficult to play against. Really good. In the Gibraltar game, we had to kind of plan against it a lot of the time. It was that good. So we honestly massive congratulations on for playing so well, but unfortunate for the loss, obviously. But no, we were going into it expecting for maybe a Malga or anything. We'd seen and heard from other teams and from our other uni teams that this team might play Malga, so we were surprised. Obviously, I mean, we played Gibraltar on purpose, trying to avoid it, and obviously we banned it. But when they did play it, they did seem quite scary on it, so it was just lucky that we managed to kind of avoid that, because apparently they were quite scary on that comp. So we got a bit lucky today in that regard. But honestly, it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, when you saw that they switched on Gibraltar right at the end to that brawl comp, just playing under the bridge, what was the call on that adjustment? You went back to spawn quite quick, and was there a reason for that?
Yeah, so mainly two things. Last week we got beaten by Maga team pretty badly, so we've done a bit of homework and research on how to try and beat it, and we feel like on that map in particular, the Zarya would have been able to actually just kind of melt through. But then we knew that we tried to play the monkey before, just didn't work last week. Obviously, you know, it's a monkey into a Malga comp, so we swapped instantly. We learned from our mistakes last week and kind of went in from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Matters, is there anything you want to ask before I?
Yeah, just generally, what was your the mentality coming into this game? Obviously, you got knocked just from the lower bracket or the upper bracket last week. Were you scared with your last life on the line, or were you more rallying together to try and get to the end?
We were rallying together. I can't lie. If I said to my team, if we lost tonight, I'd take them to get 3 shots at spoons. So they kind of, I thought they'd actually throw, to be honest. But we banded together. We really want this win. We really want to win this. A lot of us are graduating this year, and then we're passing it on to a couple of other people who are going to do a fantastic job with it next year. But honestly, we went into it with a mindful of, if we win, we're really happy. We get to almost get to the end. We almost get to the final. If we lose, we get to go to spoons, and I'll buy them more shots. So they didn't mind either way. So it got morale up in that way. So yeah, we went into this game really planning it out. Went into this game doing as much as we could and kind of planning everything. Did our research from last week, and then yeah, we're here now, and I couldn't be prouder of the team.
Yeah, definitely paid off. Are there any, before I send you away, are there any special shout-outs you want to make?
If you don't mind, I'd like to shout out everyone on my team. Finfinity for being genuinely such a good player from our third team who came up in the second team at the start of this season. He's made a massive input to our team. Rice Grain, our newest recruit on the flex support, even though we put him in Kiri jail, he's been absolutely fantastic, and he has been so improved this season. I'm honestly so proud of him. Gangster Garner coming from a Division 1 team when he was at Durham, and then moving over to Hallam doing his other course. I mean, he's on the second team for us, but he's completely come in, he's completely changed our mindset. He's done coaching, he's done everything. I'm so proud of him and thanking him for everything he's done. March Anson, who will be taking over captaincy, I'm so proud of him as well. He didn't play today, but I'm so proud of him for taking over and just being consistent every time. Azelfia, my Lucio goat, always brings positive to the team. Every single time, she's always bringing positivity, and I just love my team. And then there's Boomer Beta, who couldn't be here tonight, who has always been that impactful player who also puts a smile on everyone's face. So honestly, to the entire team, thank you all, and thank you to everyone for making this uni adventure so special. So thank you all.
That is beautiful. That is a beautiful message. You've been a pleasure to talk to. Congratulations on your victory. I wish you so much luck in your next game against Peanut.
Thank you. Yes. I'm very excited to play against MT. I love that guy.
Okay, thank you for coming, Otter.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you for casting. Bye. Bye.
What a pleasant man.
Positive team.
What a pleasant conversation. That was great. I'm very glad they won. I mean, not in a biased way. Southampton Seagull played really well, but I'm just glad we got to talk to him. That's really improved my mood. What a guy. I think they clearly are having a lot of fun with things, and I think that's really the best way to go about it all. And yeah, I'm very happy for them.
That's what Uni Overwatch is all about.
Absolutely. I do. Yeah, I want to leave a little bit more grace for Southampton Seagull, who, once again, he mentioned it as well in his interview because he's apparently the nicest guy ever. He gave him a lot of praise for how they played that series, and I think we really should do so. They played it super well, and they deserved every opportunity they got to get to this point. And with that, and with the condolences to Southampton Seagull and the praise to both teams, to Hallam Hammers especially, for making it through, we're going to send it over to what could end up being quite a long break as we prepare for our second match, which should be the lower brackets semi-finals in Division 1. Come back for a banger.